What is a soul? Welcome to Philosopher's Corner. I'm John. What is a soul? It's probably one of the fundamental driving questions of philosophy. I mean, we can't be sure what the first sets of questions were in philosophy that got the whole discipline of thought going, but what is a soul definitely has to be at the top of the list. And people have been trying to figure out what it is for a long, long time. Probably since we had souls. So, what is a soul? It's philosophy, so we're just trying to figure it out. And where I'm coming from, the traditional definition of soul is that immaterial piece of a human being that animates us, that drives us. Right? That's the general idea of it. And for me, a soul is, I start with the core. I start with the fact that every soul has a piece of the God energy, the universal frequency, the electrostatic plasmatic light, the white light that is at the core underneath everything of creation. Each soul has a piece of that, and by having that piece of the underlying white light that's under everything, each soul is each soul is eternally super quantum positioned on the God energy. The God energy being the electrostatic plasmatic white light of creation. So within each soul, there's a piece of that. And then built around that piece of electrostatic plasmatic white light is an energy body. Body being a description of essentially like an energy construct housing that surrounds the piece of light. And to me, that's what the soul actually is. And that construction of the piece of the plasmatic white light that comes from the primal level of creation, surrounded by the energetic housing. That energetic housing, that combination is what houses our eternal and immortal perspective and identity. Like a never expiring hard drive. Whenever that's given birth to and whenever that goes out into the universe, that's the portion of us excuse me, that's the portion of us that when it goes through all the different realms and takes a body, all of the other portions of the body are constructed and manifested around that part of the being. So to me, it doesn't matter if it's anything that has a soul, which I think everything does have a soul. It has that piece of the God energy, it has the housing, and in that housing, that's what carries the information for all karma, it connects you to Akashic records, that is the anchor point for the consciousness that we are, the never-ending stream of energy and all associated information pertinent to the particular soul as it goes throughout creation and the universe and all the realms and all the dimensions. So in a way, it's kind of like the soul's kind of like the blockchain where it's a permanent and eternal accounting of all the material and immaterial transactions that being goes through. And that's the portion of a being that any sort of physical body in any realm is built around. And that's the part that comes and goes from realm. So when a baby is born, that's what comes into the mother's womb that the biology starts to come around and create the body for the baby. And then as that baby goes through life and has experiences, it's the same soul that goes through all that. And then when that person dies and the body comes off, then that housing with the God energy, that's what comes out of the body and goes to wherever it goes. You know, presumably off to the next episode, whatever it is. And in that sense, it doesn't need to take a body. It can, and you know, it's a discussion for a different time. But then that's what allows for the coherent and continuous experience of creation itself to occur, while the individual gets to continue an eternal journey of growth, and it keeps getting accounted for, and you know, it goes on, and the whole while being superpositioned with the universe and God, the God energy underneath it, the universal frequency, whatever you want to call it. So that even though time and space is an illusion, it's still connected. The soul knows that, because the soul never really travels in that way, because it's like two magnets on the side of the same paper, right? You can move the magnets, and the paper, it looks like, you know, the paper looks like it's moving. That's the reality. And then the magnets are just like, they're always stuck together. They're always in the same position, right? So that's kind of like the soul and the God energy. They're like magnets, and the reality is this thing. And so it gives us the illusion that we're going to different realms, or different material realms, or whatever, or in different states of being. But in reality, there's no movement. It's an illusion, because the whole thing is a construct. The whole material reality is a construct, essentially, for our entertainment. So yeah, I think that's what the soul is. So you have a piece of the white light God energy, and it's housed in an energy construct that acts like a permanent hard drive or character select, or whatever, however you want to think about it. And then it never goes away. That's what we are permanently. That's what gives me a great amount of security existing in the universe, is that through transcendental meditation and inner searching and knowing thyself, ultimately knowing thyself, you go through all these like physical layers, and you go through your character traits and your psychology traits and whatever. But really, for me, and when you cross-reference this with sages and mystics and any deep seekers throughout the ages, when you know to come yourself, when you come to know yourself, what you come to know is your soul. And when you get into the soul realm, that's when you can unpack your eternal journey. That's when you can really start to know where you are. When you get to have some context on your soul, that's when universe really opens up to you, and when creation starts to have some context and you know, make a lot more sense. And that's all due to the soul. And I think that's great. So what is the soul? That's what I think about it. Obviously, you know, you can leave what you think in the comments, or make your own videos. This is all about thinking for yourself. So thanks for spending some time here at Philosopher's Corner. Hope you have a good day.